Welcome to Parenting ADHD with Aymara, the podcast for parents who want to create calmer homes, improve their child's focus and behavior, and reduce the daily stress that often comes with raising a child with ADHD. If you're dealing with meltdowns, homework battles, constant reminders, emotional overwhelm, or simply feeling exhausted and unsure of what to do next, you are in the right place. I'm Aymara Valladares, licensed clinical professional counselor and creator of the Calm Focus Method. For years, I've helped parents better understand ADHD and implement practical strategies that create lasting change at home and at school. Each week, I'll share simple tools, real-life examples, and proven techniques to help you reduce chaos, build stronger connection with your child, and create the calm, structured environment where children with ADHD can thrive. So whether you're driving to work, folding laundry, or taking a well-deserved break, thank you for being here. Let's get started. This is Parenting ADHD with Aymara Valladares. Hello and welcome back to Parenting ADHD with Aymara Valladares. I want to start today's episode with the question: have you ever laid in bed at night replaying your entire day? Maybe you're thinking about the homework battle that ended in tears. Maybe you're replaying the argument you had before school. Maybe you're remembering the moment you lost your patience and raised your voice. And then the thought shows up: what if I'm failing my child? If you ever had that thought, you're not alone. In fact, I would say that guilt is one of the most common emotions I see in parents raising children with ADHD. Not because they are bad parents, not because they're doing something wrong, but because they care so deeply. Today we're going to talk about ADHD guilt, where it comes from, why it feels so heavy, and how we can start letting some of it go. Let's start here. Parenting a child with ADHD is exhausting in many ways that many people don't understand. You're not just parenting, you're reminding, you're redirecting, you're helping with homework, you're managing emotions, you're communicating with teachers, you're solving problems, you're trying to prevent the next meltdown before it happens. And after doing all of that, day after day, many parents begin to feel like no matter how much they do, it never feels like enough. I've heard parents say things like, I feel like I'm constantly behind. I feel like I'm failing every day. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. Maybe you felt that way too. And if you have, I want you to know something important. Feeling overwhelmed does not mean you're failing. It means you're caring a lot. And sometimes those two things get confused. Now, one of the biggest sources of guilt often starts long before a child is diagnosed. After diagnosis, many parents look backwards. Suddenly, all the pieces seem to fit together. The tantrums, the forgetfulness, the homework struggles, the emotional outbursts, the constant need for reminders. And because the answers seem obvious now, parents often tell themselves, I should have seen it sooner. I should have known. I should have done something earlier. But here's the problem. You're looking at the past with information you didn't have at the time. Of course, it looks obvious now. You have the benefit of hindsight. Most parents were not ignoring signs. They were trying to understand behaviors they didn't yet have an explanation for. You cannot know what you didn't know. Let me say that again. You cannot know what you didn't know. You were making decisions based on the information available to you at the time. And that deserves compassion, not criticism. But guilt doesn't stop there. Sometimes it shows up when we start comparing ourselves to other families. Have you ever looked at another family and wondered, why does it seem so easy for them? Their child gets ready for school, homework gets completed, their mornings look calm, their house seems organized. Meanwhile, you're trying to find a missing backpack while reminding your child for the seventh time to put on their shoes. It's easy to think everyone else has figured out what to do. It's easy to think everyone else has figured something out that you haven't. But here's what I've learned: you're seeing the outside of their story, you're living the inside of yours. Every family has struggles. You simply have a front row seat to your own. In comparison, almost always creates shame. It rarely creates solutions. The goal isn't to compare your family to another family. The goal is to help your child make progress from where they are today. And sometimes the biggest guilt shows up after we've had a really hard month. Let's talk about something most parents don't admit very often: when you lose your patience. Sometimes we snap. You have reminded your child, you have asked nicely, you have explained, you have repeated yourself again and again. Eventually, you are exhausted. Your patience runs out. And maybe you raise your voice. Maybe you sound harsh than you intended. Maybe you say something you right away regret. Then comes the guilt immediately. And you replay it over and over in your head. A better parent would have done that. A calmer parent would have handled different. But let's be honest, parenting is hard. Parenting an ADHD kid can be incredibly hard. And having a human moment does not make you a bad parent. In fact, one of the most important lessons we can teach our children is that relationships don't require perfection, they require repair. Sometimes the most powerful words a parent can say are, "I'm sorry, I was frustrated. I wish I had handled this different." Those moments don't weaken the relationship, they actually strengthen the relationship because your child learns that mistakes can be acknowledged and repaired. That's a lesson they'll carry for the rest of their lives. But there is another layer of guilt many parents carry, and this one can be especially painful. When you love your child, it's painful to watch them struggle. You see them forget assignments, you see them get frustrated, you see them work harder than other children, you see the emotional toll it takes on them, and every part of you wants to make it better. Parents will say, "I just want to fix it." And of course you do. You are a parent. That's what love looks like. But here is something important: your job is not to remove every obstacle from your child's path. Your job is to help them learn how to navigate obstacles. And that's very different. Your child doesn't need a parent who can solve every problem. They need a parent who stays beside them. They need a parent who stays beside them while they learn to solve problems, because problems will always be there, now, tomorrow, and all their lives. And I think many parents underestimate how powerful that really is. What your child actually needs is not a perfect parent. They need a connected parent, a parent who keeps showing up, a parent who listens, a parent who learns, a parent who tries again after a hard day, a parent who believes in them. And if you're listening to this podcast right now, I have a feeling that's exactly who you are. Because parents who don't care aren't listening to ADHD podcasts. They're not looking for strategies. They're not worrying about whether they're doing enough. The fact that you're here tells me something. You care deeply. You love your child with all your heart. The challenge is that caring deeply can sometimes turn into carrying responsibility for things that are outside your control. And that's a burden no parent was meant to carry. So before we finish today, I want to leave you with one simple exercise. The next time guilt shows up, try changing the question. Instead of asking, am I failing my child? Ask, how did I help my child today? Maybe you listen. Maybe you comfort them. Maybe you advocated for them at school. Maybe you stay calm during a difficult moment. Maybe you apologize after losing your patience or raising your voice. Maybe you simply got through another hard day without giving up. And those things matter more than you even realize. Small moments of connection often have a bigger impact than grand gestures. And those moments happen every single day. If you have been carrying guilt for a long time, I hope you'll put down a little bit of it today. Not because you're perfect, not because you've done everything right, but because parenting was never meant to be perfect. It was meant to be human. Your child does not need perfection from you. They need your presence, they need your understanding, and they need your love. Thank you for joining me today. If this episode resonated with you, share it with another parent who may need to hear it. And if you like more practical tools for creating a calmer home and helping your ADHD child succeed, visit thecalmfocusmethod.com. Until next time, remember, your child is not broken, and neither are you. I'm Aymara Valladares, and this has been Parenting ADHD. Less chaos, more connection, lasting change. Thank you for joining me on Parenting ADHD with Aymara Valladares. Parenting a child with ADHD can feel overwhelming, but lasting change is possible when you have the right tools and the right approach. I hope today's episode has helped you better understand your child, given you practical strategies you can use right away, and brought you one step closer to creating a calmer home, improving your child's focus and behavior, and reducing the daily stress that leaves so many families exhausted. If you'd like to learn more about how to get my direct help, visit thecalmfocusmethod.com, where you'll find free resources and information about how we can work together to help your family thrive. Remember, your child is not broken. They need understanding, structure, and support, and so do you. Until next time, keep showing up, keep learning, and keep moving forward. I'm Aymara Valladares, and this has been Parenting ADHD. Less chaos, more connection, lasting change.